Hello everyone, this is Scott from the Exposition.com. Today we'll be talking about Adsense and quick tips for Adsense optimization. So as we all know, I have my main site, I have my blogger blog, and then I have my gaming blog that I was working on, and we are adding Adsense ads to them. And I want to talk to you some quick things that you can do to configure them to perform the best. Number one, if you have a responsive site, you need to be using responsive ads. It's fairly simple. There's smart sizing, and then there's responsive. Smart sizing will automatically change to the size of your screen and will switch to the most recommended ad format. For instance, on mine, it shows a 160 by 600 because there's not a 300 space here. If there was a 300 width here, it would put a 300 by 600 space here, but it puts 160 by 600. Up here, in fact, I didn't put a smart resizing. I did a responsive ad unit. I put the responsive ad unit there because as the way that I have the header set up, responsive ad units will not work here because the width is dependent on the size of the advertisement there, and therefore I had to automatically set this. And putting a 728 by 90 does not fit up here in case you can't tell, and I didn't want it to look bad. We put one ad here, we put one in the sidebar, and then we put one at the bottom as right here by 728 by 90, 160 by 600, and a 468 by 60 is the three units that we use consistently. The reason that we did this as opposed to putting it in the content, one, putting it in the content does increase the click-through rate and therefore generates more overall revenue. That is recommended. You want it to make more money, you should put it in the content. No? Well, it depends on how I want to look at it. I personally think that I should leave the advertisements out of the content so that way you can focus on what you're reading as opposed to being sold something. But it does bring revenue down. So what do I have to do? I place advertisements that cover up a large chunk and in different locations. I try to always keep one in your site, but I can't always do that. As you can see, I'm going to run out on this article and then I have to put one there. I could put more additional ad units, which is what I was going to plan on doing. When the sites get more traffic, I'm going to consider putting background advertisements. Wallpaper advertising or background advertising is very popular because it covers a large space. My floating units will still work, and they generate a lot of click-through ratio. They don't interfere with the content, though. That's the thing. Right now, I just have it on a black background because it draws your focus to the content. With an advertisement in the background, I would see we could put an advertisement probably above the breaking news, and then it would cover up the background and take a background takeover. That generates more revenue, but that isn't offered through AdSense. In fact, many ad networks don't even offer that. The most ad networks that do offer it are like Burst Media. Burst Media, very popular, very old ad network. If you want to have background advertising but don't want to be an ad network, double-click through Google is definitely the best bet. If you're doing self-serving, I only recommend double-click and buy-sell ads. They are the best services to do for this, and they have the best reputation. The layout of this site, very simple, fully responsive, works beautifully on your mobile phone, and we did this to get most of the business side out, most of the business things out of the way. This is where you'll come for business ideas that we actually used and have applicated to our sites. Then there's the gaming site, which is gaming achievements, and what we did here, very similar. Responsive design. I did a background with an image this time because this I'm gonna get you all used to this. 728 by 90 ad unit. 160 by 600 and 160 by 600 here because this is not a 300 space square for it. I'll add additional items here depending on the size of it. The layout's fairly simple. You get featured, latest, reviews, more recent again, MMORPG news. Our guides will go here, and then walkthroughs and or cheats or something else that we deem worthy will go here, and then videos and streams are here. When the site generates a lot of revenue, we'll eventually move it to its own domain, but we're going to keep it as it is. I will say right now, for those of you choosing to move from a blogger blog to a full domain, I'm going to give you this one word of advice. Do not remove the content from your blogger blog. Keep the blogger blog as it is, but take your URL and link the two together. So instead of this, keep this URL and this site up. but take gaming achievements, and then so what I would do is I take gaming achievements, drop off the blogspot, and buy the .com domain, but still keep this because because as a site like this develops, it does have a lot of link juice. In fact, my biggest mistake was deleting all the content on my old Blogger blog and putting it all on my new website. That was a big mistake. I lost most of the revenue that I made from it, and I'm trying to rebuild the Alexa rank that I had. It goes down dramatically recently. It's going down a lot, but it's still not where it used to be as it was on Blogger. So keep that site there, but build off it. You can even use the same template. You can keep the same design. You can use the name. You can link them two together, saying that this site will no longer be updated. Make sure to check out our blah 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 domain and use that as a link. Use that as like a linking book almost. That way, you still get all the traffic and revenue from here, and then as they go to your new site, you can get the traffic there. But don't delete this, because you lose your link juice. You will not get that back. It's not easy to get back it. So what I did that was incorrect. You can't set up a real redirect perfectly through Blogger. It doesn't work. Unless you want to keep it on Blogger and put the domain through Blogger, trust me, it's bad. It's not a good content management system compared to WordPress, but it gets the job done. So if you're going to move off, make sure to keep this going, because this is link juice. Link juice doesn't go away. But when it's making enough money to pay for its own domain, private domain, that is what you're gonna want. As far as anything else I can really recommend, make sure for maximum revenue, always place an advertisement in the content. But if you're like me and you don't want to do it, don't. And another thing, if you are I've come across a lot of poorly designed websites who have a lot of followers. I don't get it myself. I produce better content. It's spelled correctly. My design looks better, but I get less views than some of the other people. It doesn't bother me. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. But I've had advertisements, like, I swear, if you cut this off and made this like a 468 by 60 advertisement with no background and just had it hovering over here, I've had websites like that. I came across one today and I just ripped the dude to shreds over it. I'm like, you really think you're going to get an AdSense with this? Do you know why it's not getting approved? Blah 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 blah. And I just ripped him up over it. This site, I generate content multiple times a day. I'm updating all my sites multiple times a day. I'm making videos for all my channels that I can. I'm making a lot more content. I just don't have as many followers as them. So the only way to do it is to continuously make more content to drive people in to get them to follow you. That's the only thing I can think of. Sharing with my friends, I don't do that really because I don't want to bring what I do into their lives. But, I'm probably just going to end up having to do that. But the best thing that I can do right now, the best thing that everyone can be doing, is focus on your content quality. Focus on writing a lot of content. Make sure you do it multiple times a day. Multiple times a day. Not once a day, multiple times if you can. If you run multiple sites, it's going to be hard, but at least do one a day. And anything else for additional revenue, join DoubleClick or another ad network. You're not going to survive straight. You can survive off AdSense alone. 3 ad units, unless you want to use the link units too, that you can get 6 ad units on your page. I may do that. I may start using the full 6 units that I can to bring in additional revenue. But you need to realize what your advertising is doing, where you place it, and what's performing the best. This may not be the best performing, but it keeps the site looking clean and keeps the advertisements away from the viewing audience's eyes, and that's what's most important to me, is the users are not getting pushed down. I don't want to have on any post a 300 by 60 ad unit in the middle pushing it down. No, that's stupid. For lack of a better word, that's stupid. Why do I put ads in my content? It distracts you. That's why I'm trying to incorporate more videos into everything that I write, because videos and YouTube generates the most revenue from anything. It brings in like most of my money from it. I can be honest with I can't give numbers because then I get in trouble. AdSense is not like that apparently. Yeah, don't Here's words of advice. You're not allowed to show your CPM rates or anything important. If you do have AdSense, do not fill anyone in on your rates. I've had people get into trouble with that, and they've had to file appeals, and telling people how to do the appeal process is not fun. But as I was saying, focus on YouTube videos, and your and your posts are great additional sources of revenue. I think on my gaming channel, I get a lot of my additional views through my websites because it was the smartest move to actually get. It was just the smartest move for me in order to get these additional revenue, because this channel is going to it makes the most revenue. Gaming channel is the other one, and the other ones are not making jack squat because I haven't made them public. I'm trying to get a lot of videos out there, and then I'm going to start sharing them and spreading them throughout the social web, so that way people can look through them. I gotta do more promoting of them, but make sure if you're not going to do ads in your content, videos are your key. Videos are key to additional revenue because all they do is click it and then the video shows. Placing ads in your content looks bad. You can integrate a video and the video will look 1,000 times better than any advertisement that you could ever put in there. And do you know why? Because the video is content and advertisement is just revenue. The video is revenue and content. It helps the user get a better understanding of what it is that you're telling them and writing to them and trying to hope that they understand. An advertisement, it just says, oh, it may not even be about the article. I could write an article about the right there, Fable Lost Chapters, and they could click an art and they'll have an art gauge out there. Yeah, that'll give you revenue, but what does that have to do with the content? If you have a review over Fable Lost Chapters, that will be the main thing. That will get their attention the most, and that is what you need to be focusing on. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comments below. If you have anything that you want to ask me or want me to do or something to create, also put them in the comments below. And thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.